that MOP Bird and Ernie video that came out in 2006 was the one for me. Like, that was the one that, like, I looked at that and I was like, I want to make videos like that. This should be the biggest video on YouTube. Anyone who doesn't recognize this, like, they don't know what they're talking about. So
welcome to 1:37 p.m. Presents Open Dialogue. I'm your associate editor, Omari White, and I am here with Adam Schleichhorn, who is behind one of the most greatest IG accounts to me I had ever stumbled upon, which is Milo the Cat. You have to check it out. How's it going today, bro?
Good. Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it.
No, my pleasure, my pleasure. Now let's jump right into it.
Let's go.
First question. Why the name Milo the Cat?
I mean, I've been grinding on the internet for since 2006. And back then I was working in a recording studio with my friends. Very long story short, one of my friends got a couple cats, Milo and Lulu, started filming them, and Milo kind of turned into a character, into a persona, then into like my brand, basically. Even though I hate saying brand, but that's kind of
it. Right. Nice. Now, you recently won a Webby Award into 2017, and you was nominated for one. How did it feel to let your hard work finally get notarized and get recognized by?
It was crazy, man. Like, I had to read that email like 10 times to believe it. Like, because like I said, from 2006 to 2017, it's like nothing fucking happened. And then all of a sudden, next thing you know, I win this award going up against like actual companies and stuff as an individual. And man, I really couldn't believe it. I even going to the event that night, I was like, they must have made a mistake or something.
That's beautiful to hear, because I want to talk to you about how much people should believe in playing the long game when it comes to creating content and owning it. Like, can you explain the importance of staying true to yourself and staying confident that somebody's paying attention, somebody out there in the world knows that, okay, you have something great going on right now.
Look, it's so tough to stay motivated, especially when you just keep on putting stuff out there. And sometimes you just like believe in your heart, man, if someone just saw this, if the right person just saw this, this would be huge. And sometimes that's true and sometimes it's not. That's kind of like the harsh reality thing. Sometimes over the years, I've thought, man, if I could just get this in front of the right person, this would be huge. And then even if you do, it's like, nah, it's not huge. You know what I mean? So really, it's so tough to stay motivated, but I would just take like every small victory that I would get along the way. And it'd be like this little thing. It would be like, oh, wow, like someone with a verified check retweeted me, or like this YouTube video got a bunch of action. Whatever it was like these small victories kept me going. And then there was absolutely a time where I like gave up on like this type of stuff and was just working, in my career. And I kind of like felt at one point I reached a breaking point in my career, and I was like, you know what? Let me just try and go for this again. And this was like probably like 6 years ago. And thinking like, let me put out a couple viral videos and see what happens. And all these years later, I kind of just like stuck with it and got better and better every day, basically.
Now, before you even took this serious, what were you doing beforehand?
I've always been a video editor. I've been a video editor though, like in the marketing world. And basically I would put out these viral videos. I get like these little jobs here and there in like entertainment or music. And then it would be like, okay, see you later. And then I was like, shit, I'm back in marketing and it seemed like that was going to be my career. Mm-hmm. And a couple years ago, I just decided like, let me see what would happen if I just posted stuff on Instagram every day. And at that time I had 2,000 followers, and now I have 355,000, which is just insane. It's just, and part of me still feels like, man, like I'm still just that dude with 2,000 followers. Like this didn't happen, but like all of a sudden I like, sometimes it like clicks. I'm like, oh my God, like this really is real. Like I can't get over it.
Now I saw you did some freelance stuff for Adult Swim on the
yeah, a bunch.
How was that experience?
It was great, man. You know what? It was like, that was like, again, getting beaten down in the marketing world my whole career, and having people who've like never made a video like critique my videos. So like I go to Adult Swim, and these are people who not only are they like experienced, it's like these are like people who've executive produced TV shows. Right. And they're giving me like minor critiques or no critiques, or just like sometimes I'm getting messages back like, yo, this is dope, like we're good. And it's just like, what? Like I've never got that in my career ever. And like here I am thinking like I'm in the big leagues now and it's going to be so much harder. And yes, it is, but like in some aspects, but in other aspects, God, I have so much more creative freedom working for someone like that. And they really don't tell me anything. When I worked for them, they were just kind of like, here's our stuff, do your thing. Mm-hmm. And I think I created some really, really great stuff because of that.
Definitely did. Because I've been paying attention to, the commercials, and I've noticed that, this mashup is super duper dope. Like, where they came from. But now I'm finally blessed and honored to interview the genius behind it. So yes, this is dope.
Well, I didn't really do like those commercials for Adult Swim. I did like a lot of all the stuff I did is basically like my style stuff that you see on Instagram with their stuff, with Adult Swim type content.
Basically. Gotcha. Yeah. So let's talk about the creative process behind these iconic posts. How did the mashup of infusing classic hip hop go with classic cartoons happen? Like, what
I literally just did another interview before this. It's the same answer, but to keep it brief, it's like that MOP Bird and Ernie video that came out in 2006 was the one for me. Like that was the one that like I looked at that and I was like, I want to make videos like that. This should be the biggest video on YouTube. Anyone who doesn't recognize this, like they don't know what they're talking about. So for years I tried kind of like making, my version of that video basically until like I really got better and really kind of like made it my own and like did like my own kind of stuff. But that was my original inspiration. I never want to like discredit it because that's the one, like that was the one that really did it. But when it comes to classic hip hop, it's like that was my genre too. So really like as the music industry was changing and as all this new hip hop was coming out that was like not my kind of stuff, I was like, nah, like I still like classic hip hop. Like I'm just sticking with my guns and like that's what I'm doing. I just want to do music that I like.
Now, how long is the process of editing and like actually posting these videos into IG?
Man, every one of them is different. Like when I first started this Instagram run, like man, they could have taken like 8-10 hours each, now like maybe it's like 5 or 6, maybe it's 3 or 4, like they're all different. I kind of like don't sit here and watch the clock. I just want to like make sure I'm making something that's as good as possible. And I'm just doing 20-second videos. So the fact that these are taking off is even more crazy. Yeah. But also like that means to me that like, wow, like I need to like really hit it hard within that 20 seconds. Otherwise this is just like a quick scroll through,
Right. So you're playing the metrics game.
Yeah. Like I'm not a content consumer. I'm a content creator. You know what I mean? And like, I do not scroll on Instagram. Like there's times where I feel bad where people are, oh, you see my post. I'm like, no, like I really don't see anyone's post because I need to be creating, but I was watching my girlfriend the other day scrolling through Instagram and like, she's scrolling through so many posts, like, and I'm just like watching, I'm like, this is what people do on that. I'm like, damn, like it just like, for some reason, I just didn't realize. I'm like, God, like it's so tough to get a like and then even tougher to get a comment because people are just scrolling, like for them to stop and then be like, boom, let me click like, and then let me take the time to comment.
Right.
It's like, you got to be putting out some good stuff. And that's why like, I want to keep raising the bar. I don't want to just like hit a point and like coast, that's not going to be how I'm going to do it.
And you have been doing it because I've been looking through your gram and your comments, and then you see people like Sheik Luch, Just Blaze, DJ Card Clint showing you love. Like, have any of those greats have reached out to you via DM requesting to do a mashup of one of their classic songs? Or
a bunch have, and it's like it's so crazy to me because I'm like, God, like. I bought your CD 25 years ago, like from Tower Records. I went in and bought your CD. And it's like, just the fact that they follow me is crazy. Then it's like to see them in the likes or the comments. Like I was saying in the last interview I was doing, it just adds fuel to my fire. And that's what kept me motivated and kept me really helped my confidence from getting beaten down in the marketing world all these years. It's like very easy to forget that negativity when you post this video and like 20 minutes later, Sheik Luch comments. Like to me, that's a huge help. And like, I think the reason why I'm able to get better, even during this recent Instagram run, I think from the start of it to now, I'm so much better because of that.
Definitely. Now, I always wanted to know how in the world you was able to like properly clip each song with each lyric, because
well, yeah, that's
like some of my favorite ones that I had that stuck so much for me as of recently was the Bart Simpson with the Lupe Fiasco's Kick Push.
My man got a little older, became a better roller. Yeah, no helmet, hell bent on killing himself.
Oh yeah, that's one of my personal favorites. Yeah, I love that one.
The droopy one with Snoop's Gin and Juice.
With so much drama in the LBC, it's kind of hard being Snoop D-O double G, but
to pay homage for the verse.
Yep.
I think the most funniest one I have seen yet throughout the entire summer was Cleveland Brown on Ludacris's Rollout. Like,
where'd you get that platinum chain with them diamonds in it? Where'd you get that matching Benz with them windows in it?
That was hilarious. Like, I was dying for days on. Like, where were you? How are you able to have those creative muscles and flex them like that? You know what?
Like working when I got the job for Adult Swim a few years ago, it was because I like had finally figured out how to do this properly. But then I did like 3 different 10-week contracts for Adult Swim. By the end of those contracts, I was like, oh my God, I'm so much better now. And I really know what I'm doing now. And then we kind of hit a point where they got all they needed from me for that. And it was like, from what I was doing, it was understandable. You know, like we kind of like made I made like 100 videos for them. It was at that point, it was always like, how many more of these things could I make? And then we kind of just like, I never got re-up for another contract. And that was kind of the end of it. But then it kept on thinking like, God, like I'm good at this finally. Like now's the time to like really go for it, you know? So that's what this Instagram thing was all about. And then really what it comes down to is I'm not leaving anything up to chance. Like I'm going in with my own little crazy technique that I created that I'm reanimating everything. So like nothing is like, oh, hopefully this clip matches up and let's see what happens. It's like, no, I'm making it match up, you know? So that's how everything's like so precise and so just like kind of like perfect.
Nice. I also been looking at your captions for each of your posts, and what caught my attention for one of them was when you mentioned how you saw Mobb Deep at SUNY Albany.
Yeah.
Me being a native New Yorker and I have friends that went to SUNY Albany, I always wanted to know, I like to hear about the stories of how nostalgic and how crazy it was during the golden era of hip hop when you was able to see the Mobb Deeps.
Oh man, that's such a good one too. You know what? First of all, thank you, because most people don't read the captions, but like for some reason, like I guess like I'm an old school internet guy that I'm like, yo, the captions like have to be something, you know, there has to be something in there. So I appreciate that first of all, but that Mobb Deep show was Black Rob opened, then Mobb Deep, and then Nas.
Wow.
Yeah. And they did that one in the Rack, it was called, which was the gym, the SUNY Albany gym. Which was like a pretty big college gym, but it wasn't like a Division I college by any means. So it was a small enough venue where like there were a lot of people there for what it was, but you know, it was a pretty small venue to see that. And I'm telling you, it was just P and Havoc and Big Noid, just the 3 of them on stage, and they came out and did like 10 of the classics. Like they came out and like not only like the radio stuff, it was just like, you know, the classic album joints. And they just did like 10 in a row, and it was just like it was like the hardest hitting set like I've ever experienced. Like we were all kind of just like sitting there like blown away. And no disrespect to Black Rob, but Black Rob came on opening and performed Like Whoa 3 times.
I mean, but I could tell the crowd was going crazy, at least by the second time.
The crowd was going crazy, but by the 3rd time, the crowd was like, what is this dude doing? Like he performed Like Whoa. He performed like half of one other song, Like Whoa 3 times, and then he got off the stage, and we were all kind of like, what kind of show is this going to be? And then seriously, Mobb Deep came on stage and destroyed it. Like it was unbelievable, that performance. It really was.
I believe it. Now let's play around for a little bit.
Sure.
If you have a platform like MTV, Netflix reach out to you and they say, hey, we want you to create a show about mixing and producing hip hop tracks. What would be the name of the show and who would you want to co-host it with?
Oh man. I mean, I do have this idea for this show. Like, I think in my mind, I would love to do something like Adult Swim remixes, where it would just be like different remixes of all Adult Swim stuff, where the backbone of it would be the music stuff. But then kind of like what I did for them when I was working for them, basically just like these short little comedy bits mixed in. And in terms of a co-host, you know, the one that like always comes to mind, you follow Savvy Amusing?
Yeah.
Okay, so like him and I have become friends over the years because it is very rare for individuals to be running pages entirely of their own stuff with this kind of following. It's almost like him and I are the only two people in the world doing this. So like we became friends like real quick, and we've constantly stay in touch. And something about like, I don't know, I think like my style and his style together, man, we could create like an amazing 11-minute Adult Swim show. Like I just know that we can. I know that we can.
Definitely. Now, if you could do a mashup of a cartoon and song of your favorite era, whether it be the 80s, 90s, even now, what content would you use to perfectly describe it?
Simpsons, always. Yeah, Simpsons is always the one that, like, to me, that really shaped my comedic sensibilities. Like those early episodes of The Simpsons, the first 10 seasons.
Yeah.
Man, like that is some of the best comedy writing ever. They got so many different characters, and all these characters are developed and in depth, and they have backstories and families and stuff like that. And it's like anything on The Simpsons could really, like, you could find, they have so much content that you could find something for just about anything, you know? And I always like those videos the best, I think, because it really like brings me back to, like, you know, some of these cartoons I use are like when I was like a real little kid. So that brings me back in a certain way. But Simpsons is more when I was like kind of like a preteen to a teen era. And it's like a little bit different of a feeling where it's like, man, like something about The Simpsons, it just like hits me in a certain way.
Same here. Those would take me back to the Sunday nights eating dinner on Fox 5, you know.
Hell yeah. Oh my God. Oh man. It's just such an amazing show.
Yes, it is. We're going to switch it up a bit.
Okay.
Those some rapid fire questions, so I hope you're ready.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Cool. Nike or Adidas?
Nike.
Favorite streetwear brand?
Streetwear brand? I'm not like a trendy kind of dude. Like, I don't know. Yeah, really. I would usually, this shirt, by the way, shout out to Set Free for this shirt. He sent me a bunch of great shirts. But
the Compound Zone, that's my guy.
Yeah, right. Oh, okay. You know, okay, yeah. So shout out to Compound and Set Free. Dude really hooked me up with shirts. So I'm wearing them on every interview I'm doing. But usually, man, no joke, like, and my girlfriend makes fun of me for this, I'd be wearing what you're wearing right now. I wear Nick shirts, and like that's how I roll. I really do.
I love it. Online shopping or in-store shopping?
In-store. I'm old school.
Favorite New York Knicks moment?
Oh man, it's got to be the dunk, the John Starks left-handed dunk over the Bulls. Yeah, I mean, it's got to be, man. Look, it's, as you know, it is tough being a Knicks fan. And most Knicks fans are not casual Knicks fans. It's like, no, we are fans. And, you know, every year, like, we're just delusional. And it's like, all right, we got a good draft pick this year, and we got, like, a new coach. Every year there's a new coach. Oh, coach seems like he's all right. We're going to get some free agents, and, you know, we're going to hopefully be all right every year. And nothing really happens. So, man, that's just tough.
I know. 2020 NBA champions will be?
Man, I kind of think it might be the Lakers. I think, like, how do you stop LeBron and AD? And then they have a good supporting cast too, but I know Kawhi and Paul George are going to be real tough, and their supporting cast is even better. But, God, when it comes down to when LeBron puts his head down and goes to the hoop, no one could stop that. And people almost, like, aren't really giving AD the credit that, like, he's a top 5 player in the league, you know? Like, top 5, like without a doubt. So
Definitely.
yeah. But look, out of the East, like the Bucks are going to be tough too, for sure.
I see Boston or the Bucks.
Yeah, Boston's no joke, but man, just when it comes down to like at the end of the game and you need a bucket, who's gonna stop the Greek Freak? Who's gonna stop that dude? Like he takes 2 dribbles from half court and he's dunking. You know, it's like, man, like I don't know how you stop a guy like that. Seriously.
Yeah. So, what's one cartoon you wish was back on TV?
Oh, cartoon I wish it was back on TV. That's a tough one, man. I don't know, actually. I don't know. Maybe G.I. Joe. What about G.I. Joe? That could be dope.
I haven't heard that name in a while.
Right? Like that could be a dope one. I'm trying to think, like because like recent cartoons kind of lasted, like Family Guy has been on forever, Simpsons, South Park, all those have been on forever.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what cartoon really got canceled that I was like upset that it got canceled.
X-Men?
Really, X-Men would be a good one too. Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. Now, what cartoon character will be best to rap over your favorite song?
Cartoon character would be best. I don't know. You know what? I kind of always like Peter Griffin from Family Guy because like that's another one where there's just so many different options and like you kind of find whatever you're looking for.
Right.
And I do like shows. There's certain videos like Simpsons and South Park and Family Guy where I'm making references that are like super subtle that you would only get if you're a super fan of the show. You know what I mean? And then like I'm also making references that if you're a super fan of the hip hop track. So it's almost like that double action. I did this one Peter Griffin and Ghostface video where there was like a lot of references to the song that like maybe you wouldn't pick up on if you weren't a real hip hop fan. And then there were a lot of references to the show that were like, oh, you would have to be a real Family Guy fan to even understand like what was happening here.
Definitely get it. Greatest beat of all time.
Oh, I don't know if I can pick a specific one, but it's got to be DJ Premier. DJ Premier has been my top producer for a long, long time, and I'm sticking to that. It's always, look, the Premier track's always the best track on the album, you know?
The Premier beat is just golden.
Absolutely. Maybe you got to give it to like Above the Clouds. Like, I don't know. That's the one that's like sticking out that it's just like a beat that's just like hits you in the face, you know? It's like, damn. Yeah.
Sure. Final question. Hope you're ready for this one. Name an album that will best match your entire legacy 10 years from now.
I hope it's Nas Illmatic, you know? I hope, you know what I mean? Like, I hope that's what it is. I hope it's something that is just like cover to cover, no skips, you know? Like, that I've been big in that. I've been writing that in the descriptions recently. I'm very big into albums. Like, albums has always been like, yeah, for an artist or for a group to be able to put together an entire album where it's just like the entire thing all the way through, man, that is just so tough to do. And I feel like that type of stuff doesn't really happen anymore, you know?
Listen, the world is yours, as my man Esco would say, you know?
Yeah,
definitely. But Adam, thank you so much for being a part of 1:37 p.m. Presents Open Dialogue. We appreciate your time. We appreciate the content you're creating, and keep on being the young GOAT that you are right now. Man.
My pleasure. And thank you for having me. Let's go Knicks. And you know, and also, by the way, send me whenever this goes live, just send this to me so I can share it and stuff, you know, all that stuff.
I appreciate that again.
No problem.
All right, you take it easy. Have a good one.
All right, man, you too.
All right.